Some relationships are hardest because the love is still real, but the future isn't. If leaving feels impossible for that reason, the 4-question build test will help you separate love from what people can honestly build right now. Like, how can love be real and still not build a future? When is not now honest and true, and when does it become indefinite, waiting? What evidence tells you whether the relationship fits the life you need and want? You may still feel the tenderness. You may trust that both people mean what they say. That doesn't make the mismatch less real. Less real. It makes the grief harder to authorize. The point isn't to make love smaller, it's to stop asking love to do jobs that require time, capacity, honesty, reliability, and compatible choices. Before we can ask whether love is enough, we have to define the word. In the book OLNE, love is your genuine desire for your beloved's happiness and actualization as intrinsic to your own. A relationship is different. A relationship is the actual way two people interact. Love is the desire. The relationship is what the two people repeatedly create together. That distinction explains something people often struggle to name. You can genuinely want someone to be happy and still be unable to give that person the relationship they need. You can love someone and have very little time. You can love someone and lack emotional regulation under stress. You can love someone and want a different future. You can love someone and be honest enough to admit that your current life cannot hold the commitment being requested. Saint-Vaknin uses the word love more broadly. He describes love, or rather healthy love, as an umbrella containing emotions, thoughts, behaviors, and actions. In this definition, love includes separateness, privacy, space, and respect for boundaries. So when Vaknin says healthy love is enough, the statement isn't a denial of capacity. The capacities are already inside his definition of healthy love. These definitions don't cancel each other. If love means the sincere inner feeling, that feeling isn't enough to build a relationship by itself, by the definition of relationship that people want. If love means the entire practice structure, the relationship people want for each other, then honesty, boundaries, conduct, and separateness are already part of love. The useful question is not which definition wins. The useful question is what exists between these two people. Is there loving feeling? Is there loving conduct? Is there enough capacity? And do the lives actually fit? Bring this down to choice. Presenting yourself honestly gives another person a real choice. Pretending to provide what you can't authentically offer doesn't create love. It hides the decision the other person has a right to make. This is why honesty can hurt and still be loving. I love you and I can give you that life. Maybe more respectful than I promise, followed by another year of delay. Let me give you an example. Dana and Lee are fictional, but the conflict will feel familiar to you. Dana and Lee love each other. Dana wants a shared life, shared daily life. Dana wants regular evenings together, a home together within about a year, and the possibility of children. Lee is caring for an aging parent and carrying a demanding working schedule. Lee can reliably offer 2 evenings a week. Lee cannot honestly offer a cohabitation for at least 2 years. Lee doesn't know when the caregiving load will change. Lee isn't lying. Lee doesn't keep making plans and disappearing. The 2 evenings happen. The affection is real. The limitation is also real. Dana isn't selfish for wanting more. Lee isn't defective for having less capacity. Caregiving, illness, parenting, grief, poverty, disability, and work strain aren't moral defects. Low capacity isn't low worth. But two legitimate realities can fail or can still fail to support the same relationship. That's where people get trapped. If nobody is cruel, the pain can feel unauthorized. Dana may think, if I leave, I'm punishing Lee for being a good child to an aging parent. Lee may think, if I really love Dana, I'd somehow create time I don't have. Neither thought is fair. Dana doesn't need to make Lee wrong in order to take Dana's own future seriously. Lee, on the other hand, doesn't need to promise the impossible in order to prove the love is real. Love doesn't turn a 24-hour day into a 30-hour day. It doesn't erase a caregiving obligation. It doesn't stop Dana's life from moving. And it doesn't make Dana's needs less legitimate. The build test is for capacity and compatibility. It isn't for danger. If a relationship includes violence, threats, stalking, sexual coercion, forced isolation, or serious coercion, you don't owe another conversation, confrontation, experiment, set of receipts, or opportunity to repair before taking protective action. You can complete this exercise privately. If discussing it, writing it down, or storing it could increase danger, skip it and seek confidential local support. The build test isn't a clinical assessment. It doesn't diagnose anyone, predict the future, or calculate a score. It gives you 4 ordinary questions about the life in front of you. So here's the build test. Question 1. What are we building? Don't begin with, do we love each other? Begin with, what relationship are we trying to create? Name the life, not just the label, not label. How much shared time does this relationship need? Do you want a shared home? Do you want children? What kind of emotional support matters to you? What commitments are you asking each other to make? What does privacy look like? What does independence look like? What kind of future are you actually choosing? This isn't about finding one correct relationship structure. The book OLNA is explicit that people can build relationships according to their own values, needs, and boundaries as long as the structure is safe and voluntarily chosen. It's about specificity. Dana isn't asking for more love. Dana is asking for regular shared evenings, cohabitation within about a year, and a future where children remain possible. These requests can be discussed. Love me more can't be measured, scheduled, or honestly accepted. Lee also needs specificity. Lee isn't saying, I'm just bad at relationships. Lee is saying, I can offer 2 evenings a week and I can't build a shared home for at least 2 years. Once the desired relationship is visible, the conflict stops being a referendum on love. It becomes a question of whether the available offers support the same life. Write one sentence. The relationship I want to build includes blank. Use observable language. A shared home, 2 planned evenings, honest disclosure about major decisions, mutual emotional support, separate finances, a parenting agreement, whatever is actually important to you. You can't assess fit while the relationship remains an emotional fog. Question number 2. What can each person honestly offer now? The word now matters. Not after the promotion, not after the parent recovers, not after therapy finally changes everything, not after the children leave home, not after someone becomes the person you can imagine. What can each person offer in the present reality? Look at time, energy, emotional availability, reliability, skills, money, caregiving, health, and existing commitments. Then separate 3 sentences that people often collapse into one. I want to, I can, I will. Wanting describes intention. Can describes capacity. Will describes the choice to allocate the capacity here. Those sentences can match, they can also split apart. Someone may want more time with you and genuinely have no more time available. Someone may have plenty of time and choose not to invest that time in the relationship. Someone may have the capacity in a calm month and lose it during illness, grief, or a caregiving emergency. You don't have to mind read the reason. You do need an honest offer you can evaluate. The book OLNE puts this plainly. Love may be limitless, but time and energy are not. Honest commitment means being realistic about what you can offer rather than promising more than your life can sustain. Sometimes protecting capacity means saying no, say, let me say that again. Sometimes protecting capacity means saying no, saying not now, or doing a few things well instead of many things poorly. That honesty doesn't force the other person to accept the offer. Lee, for example, can say 2 evenings a week is my honest capacity. Dana can believe Lee and still say, that relationship doesn't support the life I need. Nobody has to be exposed as secretly selfish before Dana's answer becomes legitimate, you see? Question number 3, what do the receipts show? Now, compare the offer with repeated conduct. In the book OLNE, this is called receipts over vows. Intentions belong in the conversation, but repeated actions show what the relationship can currently hold. If someone says, I can call twice a week, do the calls happen? If someone says, I can repair after conflict, does repair occur? If someone says, I can contribute to the household, is that contribution visible? If someone says, I need a month with less contact, is the limit communicated clearly and revisited when promised? Receipts aren't surveillance. They aren't secret tests. They aren't evidence that you know someone's hidden motive or total character. Receipts are the ordinary pattern you already live inside. Dana's receipts show that Lee is reliable. The 2 evenings do happen. Lee communicates when caregiving creates an emergency. Lee doesn't promise a move-in date and then invent excuses. The evidence supports Lee's honest offer. That's important because this isn't only about catching deception. Sometimes the receipts confirm that the person is telling the truth, and the truth still doesn't fit. A deceptive promise and an honest limitation are different. The deceptive promise keeps selling a future that conduct, behavior, doesn't support. The honest limitation gives you the information required to choose. Now, ask one more question inside this step. Is this a difficult season or the available structure of the relationship? There's no universal number of weeks or months that answers that. Look for context, communication, and change. Is there a known temporary demand? Has the capacity changed before? Is there a concrete event that reasonably altered the limit? Are commitments being renegotiated as circumstances change? Someday isn't a plan. A difficult season can be real. Indefinite waiting can also be real. The difference isn't how desperately you hope. The difference is what the current evidence and any concrete next step can support. Question 4 is, do these realities fit? Put the answers beside each other. What are you building? What can each person honestly offer now? What do the receipts show? And then ask, can these realities support the same relationship? Compatibility doesn't mean identical personalities. It doesn't mean equal energy every week. It doesn't mean each person gives the exact same amount in every category. Compatibility means the available relationship can honor both people's essential needs and real limits without requiring one person to disappear. There are 3 honest answers here. The first is yes. The offers fit well enough to build the chosen relationship. The second is not yet. Something is uncertain, but there's a safe and realistic way to learn more. The third is no. The realities don't support the same relationship, even if the love is genuine. If the answer is not yet, use one experiment. Keep it concrete, doable, and time bounded. Give it one owner, one date, and one success signal. Don't use an experiment to delay a truth you already know. For example, for the next 4 weeks, Lee will protect Wednesday evening unless a caregiving emergency occurs. On the first Sunday next month, Dana and Lee will review whether that agreement was realistic and whether the added time changed Dana's experience of the relationship. That experiment can answer a narrow question about scheduling. It cannot manufacture cohabitation, remove the caregiving role, or pause Dana's timeline. For Dana and Lee, the deepest conflict isn't uncertain. Dana wants a shared home within about a year. Lee cannot offer one for at least 2 years, and even that date is uncertain. Dana can choose the current relationship. Dana can choose a smaller relationship if that's genuinely fulfilling. Dana can decide to wait with open eyes. Dana can also leave. The build test doesn't make that decision. Dana does. Here's when the answer becomes painful. People often keep negotiating because incompatibility feels too ordinary to justify grief. There was no betrayal. Nobody gets caught lying. Nobody became a villain. So the mind starts looking for a charge serious enough to authorize an ending. You don't need one. A lot of people get caught in a false binary. If the love is real, I have to stay. If I leave, I have to decide the love was fake. That binary turns grief into a trial. You start prosecuting the other person so your decision will feel justified, or prosecuting yourself because you still can't make the relationship fit. There's another honest sentence. I believe the love was real, and I am not choosing this relationship. That sentence doesn't erase responsibility. It doesn't excuse harmful conduct. It simply allows love and incompatibility to exist at the same time. You can honor what was genuine without giving the relationship unlimited access to your future. Incompatibility is not a conviction, it's a description of fit. Two good people can need different lives. A caring person can lack the capacity you require. A person can improve and still not reach enough fit for the relationship you need. The book OLNE says commitments can be renegotiated as circumstances change without automatically diminishing love. Renegotiation may create a relationship that works for both people. It may also reveal that the honest offers don't overlap enough. Johnny Soporno argues that accurate self-presentation gives the other person a real choice. Johnny says that when two people are no longer suited, pretending otherwise can punish both people. Another person's heart can't be made captive. Belonging isn't ownership. That doesn't mean every mismatch requires a breakup. It means love doesn't create unlimited access or an obligation to preserve the relationship in its current form. If Dana leaves, the ending doesn't prove Lee never loved Dana. It doesn't prove Dana was too demanding. It doesn't mean every part of the relationship was meaningless. What it means is Dana chose based on the relationship that was available, not the one love might someday produce. If Dana stays, the decision needs the same honesty. Dana isn't agreeing to a secret future version of Lee. Dana is choosing 2 evenings a week, no shared home for at least 2 years, and real uncertainty after that. Hope can be a part of a decision, be part of a decision. Hope cannot be the missing evidence. So, what are your 4 answers? Take one page and write 4 answers. 1. What relationship am I actually trying to build? 2. What can each person honestly offer now? 3. What do the repeated actions show? 4. Do these realities fit? Don't grade the person, Don't diagnose the person. Don't write the answer you think love requires. Write the life that is actually available. If the answer is yes, build it consciously. If the answer is not yet, choose one safe bounded experiment and a date to review it. If the, if the answer is no, let the grief be grief. You don't have to turn love into a lie before you honor reality. Love can be real. The limit can be real. Your need can be real. And your decision can respect all three. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Corner table, me with my left and your soft bone face. I don't make a cage out of what we feel. I don't need a judge to make it real. If I need a road, I say